You bought a used turbo car and expected the person to be honest about it? What's up, folks? Welcome back to 802 Garage. Excuse me if the audio in this isn't the best. I just wanted to kind of be productive while I talk to y'all. So I'm going to get straight to the update on this WRX and what I know now about the head gaskets in the car. Head gaskets? So let's talk about what I've learned. After I made the last video, which, by the way, I really appreciate all your comments on that video. I did ask for your advice and your opinions, and you really responded in droves, and I honestly appreciate it. I don't necessarily agree with everything all of you said, but I didn't expect to. At the same time, a lot of you opened my eyes to things I didn't think about. Basically, I agree with you. It was still a cheap WRX that has not very high miles, and it's not super rusty, and no matter what's wrong with it, $1,000 is not a bad price. Totally agree with you. I never thought otherwise. And I also agree with you that no matter what, I'm the one who bought the car, and therefore it's my problem. I get that. I get that I'm buying a car as is, no warranty, no guarantees, no nothing, and it is in fact my responsibility to inspect the car before I purchase it. So to everybody who said those things or anything like that, I totally agree with you, and I hope you all know that when I respond to you in the comments, my tone is always meant as conversational, unless we started off insulting each other. You know what I mean? If you come at me and just attack me without reason, I might get a little bit salty. But I also want to say, I think some of you maybe misinterpreted my tone or my mood in the last video. I wasn't angry or heinously, pissed off. I was just pretty annoyed, and I had just found out about this car potentially being a lot worse off than I thought it was. I just paid $1,000 for it, which is still a lot of money to anybody like me. So it's understandable I was annoyed. But basically, after I released that video, the person I bought it from messaged me. And by the way, I in no way wanted any repercussions for him, so I hope the last video didn't come off that way. He was a little upset that I made this video, said it was disrespectful, and that, he's young and I'm putting this out there for everyone to see. I get that, but also, it's my right, and if I had known about the head gasket sealer, I wouldn't have made that video. So, but just to be clear, I didn't want anybody to go after him. I don't want anybody to try to find him or anything like that. That's ridiculous. And I know I mentioned, small claims court. I wasn't saying I was going to do that. There was no way I was going to go through that. I was just saying that's the kind of thing that can get people in small claims court. If you intentionally basically cost someone money, if you knowingly do that. Now, do I think I would win? No, but I'm just saying I've seen cases, especially on TV, Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown style, for a lot less. So as to the messages from him, he basically told me the car was overheating and someone recommended I put in head gasket sealer, so I did. Then he learned that the thermostat was bad, he replaced the thermostat, and it's never overheated since. So he says he didn't know that the head gaskets were bad. For all he knew, they were fine, which is great news for me. And of course, and this also came up a lot in the comments, and I will address it for a second here, even though I wasn't planning to. Of course, he told someone his Subaru was overheating. They said put in head gasket sealer because all Subarus blow head gaskets. That's not the correct answer. Diagnose the issue first. It can be leaking coolant. It can be a clogged radiator. It can be a bad thermostat. It can be a multitude of things, and I have seen Subarus overheat plenty of times that did not have bad head gaskets. And not only that, but no matter what anybody tells you, and no matter what you think right now, the EJ20 does not blow head gaskets as often as the naturally aspirated EJ25. People used to use turbo engine gaskets, especially from the EJ257, to repair the naturally aspirated EJ25s because the multi-layer steel head gaskets in the turbo engines were better. The only engine with prevalent head gasket issues is the NA EJ25. And I'm not saying none of the other ones are susceptible. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not even saying it's not more common than other engines, inline fours, whatever. I am just saying the NA EJ25 is why Subaru got that reputation. Unfortunately, the EJ20 is, in my opinion, one of the most reliable turbo engines from the 90s and early 2000s, and there's a reason they only stopped making it in Japan this year. Moving back along, you can argue with me all you want, but go research it. I have extensively. I even gave links to other people in the comments. Moving right along, he said it never overheated after he changed the thermostat. The head gaskets are original in the car. And as far as he was concerned, if the head gaskets ever were bad, the sealer obviously worked because the car didn't overheat anymore after he changed the thermostat. For a young guy, I can't really argue with his logic there. He doesn't know that the head gaskets are bad. He never had it properly diagnosed. He took someone else's arguably bad advice, put in some product, and then when he fixed the real issue, or potentially real issue, he moved on with his life, and then he sold the car. Now, should he still have told me he put head gasket sealer in it? In my opinion, yes, absolutely. Am I as mad? No, because I got the information I wanted. And that's a lot of you in the comments recommended to me, message him, see if he will reply to you. So luckily for me, he messaged me and gave me more information, which is a big part of what I wanted. I'm not gonna bother to message his mom or anything like that. I'm not gonna ask for any money back, which most of you said, just move on. And I agree with you. So, I was probably being a bit too upset about it, I guess you could say. But that does bring me to another point. And first I want to say, after that, we messaged back and forth a little bit more, and I said, someone else also told me that you had milk in your oil. If coolant's getting into the oil, it gets milky. That's another sign of a bad head gasket, where the coolant and oil are mixing as opposed to the coolant getting into the combustion chamber, or sometimes it can be both. Either way, coolant can get into the oil. He said, he changed the oil right before I bought the car, which is a little bit suspicious. People do that. He said, I changed the oil recently because it was 6,000 miles overdue for a change because I was broke. You know what? Been there, done that. You definitely should not do it in these turbo engines. Not another great sign for this car, but I've seen worse. And who knows what 6,000 over means to him. Maybe that means it went 11,000 miles. Some people change these cars more frequently, less frequently. But, again, he was honest with me again. I was 6,000 miles overdue. So now I know that story. He put in fresh oil. The oil looks good. And he says, I'm the only one who's ever checked that oil, and I'm the only one who's ever changed that oil. And I do believe him that he never got the head gasket diagnosis confirmed, and that he only put in the fixer on someone else's advice. And I believe him that it had a bad thermostat, and I think it may have the wrong temperature thermostat in it now, which is why it runs cool. So that's all great news. Head gaskets might be fine. I will still diagnose it in a later video. But that brings me on to my next point. So, yes, it's my responsibility to look over the car. And yeah, it's my problem as soon as I buy it, right? But there's a flaw, I think, with the mentality of a lot of the comments I received. People saying, you bought a used turbo car and expected the person to be honest about it? Like, what? Or like, anytime you buy a used car, plan on it having problems, they didn't tell you about it. Like, that's not the way I live. Okay? And that's not the way I think anybody should live. If you're selling someone a used car, you should be honest about it. This is basic human decency. And I'm not even railing on the kid right now. I get it. He left out what he thought was a small detail. Bigger deal than he realizes, I think. Whatever. But I'm just talking in general now. If you buy a car and someone knows something potentially harmful about it, bad, and doesn't tell you about it, you have every right to be upset about that. A lot of people in the comments said I didn't have any right to be upset because I still got a good deal. It was still a good car. I still got a good price. And it's my fault for not knowing. I should have done more due diligence. I checked the coolant. I checked the overflow. I asked him all the questions I could. I asked him when it was overheating and why and what he's done to diagnose it. There's only so much I can do before it's a hidden issue. And as far as it being a good deal, that doesn't matter. If someone gives you something for free, you usually can't complain. But even if someone gives you something for free and they lie about it, and you find that out later, you still have the right to be upset about the lie. You may not be have the right to be upset about receiving it, but you have the right to be upset about the lie. So if someone sells you an apple for 25 cents, and it looks pretty good, but it's got a little bruise on it, and they're like, honestly, it's pretty good. I looked at the bruise, it's fine, but it's a good apple. And it turns out later that they injected that apple with, I don't know, some kind of red food coloring to make it look better, but it's actually rotten on the inside. You can still be pissed off at this person for lying to you about this 25-cent apple. It looked like a good deal. It was still an apple, but they did something to it and then didn't tell you. Okay? So can you be that upset about losing 25 cents? No, that's probably not what you're upset about. You're upset about biting into the apple and finding out that it's got some gross dye in it and it's rotting. You know what I'm saying? And this extends to anything. If you buy a set of wheels and tires for $100, great deal. The tires look awesome. And they tell you, oh yeah, those tires hold air. They're great. This is a great deal. And you find out 100 miles down the road that all of these tires are filled with fix-a-flat and plugs. And this person knew it, but they hid it from you and there was no external signs on the wheels and tires. You can't break down wheels and tires on site and find this out. You know, you looked in the valve stem cap, you didn't see anything because they cleaned it out or whatever, but all these tires are worthless. You paid this person $100. Maybe it was a great deal, but these tires are trash. You have the right to be upset about that. It is not your fault if someone is dishonest with you. So, I don't know. I understand some of you might disagree with me, but this is the way I was raised, and this is how I try to treat other people, because if we don't have that, there's not really a common thread between us to treat each other well. And again, this is not about the kid. And I do think maybe it's a good thing that he got upset that I made that video, because maybe he'll learn that, oh, well, even though this was a small thing, you know, you don't know who you're dealing with, and you don't know who might get upset about what, and honesty is the best policy. I still would have bought the car, probably even for the same price, if he had told me that exact story. And that's the thing that you got to understand about honesty, is a lot of the times it's not as bad as you think if you just actually tell the truth. And so my point here is this: you cannot blame the person who was lied to for being lied to. They still have every right to be upset for being lied to. You know what I'm saying? And there is a difference between, you know, buying a genuine person in an alleyway from a sketchy person versus, you know, and you, of course, I get it. You ask them, is this a genuine person? They say yes, but it's 1/10 the price it normally should be. Yeah, there's a degree of it being your fault in there. But what I'm saying is, in a case like this, it was a simple piece of information that he knew, and I do feel that I had the right to be upset about it. But was I upset and crazy mad about the whole transaction overall? No. So I'm sorry this rant is so long. I'm sure most of you didn't even watch it. You know, I almost feel like I should redo the video, but I don't know. That's the way I feel. You should not have to expect that someone is going to lie to you or hide things from you when you're buying a car, because that's not how people should treat each other. So can you rely on people being honest? No. Should you be aware that you may be lied to? Yes. Are you entitled to being upset when you find out you didn't get the truth and the person knew it and they did it intentionally? I think absolutely. So basically, I really do appreciate all your comments. I agree with most of what everyone said. I just wanted to address the fact that saying it's my fault that I didn't get that piece of information and that it's my problem is kind of only a half truth. And I don't think that's how you should look at buying a car, because I don't think that's how you should look at selling a car. And if you think everyone is going to do that to you, a lot of the time your brain lets you make the excuse that you're going to do that to other people because that's fair. And it's not. It's not the way it should be. Treat other people like you want to be treated, and then we'd all get what we deserve instead of being screwed over. So overall, I'm hoping the car doesn't have bad head gaskets. I'm going to diagnose it later. I do think I got a good deal. I'm not upset with the kid, nor was I ever really upset with his mom, because I don't know what you did or did know. And I do really appreciate all your comments. I don't know. Overall, I just wanted to give you an update on what I learned about the car and about how I got such a big response in the comments, and that I really do appreciate it. And I think you all had a lot of good points, you know, telling me not to waste a lot of time on it, not to be too upset about it, and to recognize that I still got a good deal, which I definitely did, and I definitely do, and I agree with you. You know, I'm not upset about the purchase overall. The only thing that upset me was the dishonesty, and you know, I think I had every right to be upset about that, but it turned out a little bit better than it could have in the end. So I'm not, you know, it never was something I was going to lose sleep over, and I'm still not going to. And it's, you know, it's way better than other experiences I've had. Like I said, I will tell you the story about the 2.5 RS later, but in that case, I was straight up lied to and technically stolen from, and it was just a level of scummy that I hadn't really experienced before. And I think I had some latent feelings left over from that purchase that moved into this one. And maybe some of you will disagree with me about that one too when I tell the whole story, or maybe you won't, but we'll see later. Thank you all so much for watching 802 Garage. I don't think this video is going to do that well because it was just a lot of me talking, and I'm sure most people will click off. But if you made it to the end, let me know. And if you agree or disagree, let me know. If you enjoy my rants, cool. If you don't, you know, give the video a big fat dislike, and then I know not to rant anymore. But I really appreciate all your views either way and your support, and I hope you're enjoying Daily December. Do go check out Monkey Wrenching as well. And obviously there will be more updates on this car soon. Right now it's been like every other day, but I do have some car work to do and tons of stuff to do. So thanks for watching 802 Garage. Please subscribe if you haven't already, because if you made it to the end of this video, I mean, you must like something about this. Hope your weather's better than mine. Catch you later.